Completed 25 years at RV. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how has your experience been at RV and how has been the journey so far?
Each year it is a new experience for me, depending on the batch and depending on the type of students that we get. And I have come across in each batch really extraordinary students, very unique and marvelous fellows. And year by year, of course, girl students are on the rise, and the interaction with students has been very interesting for me. The students have made my being in RV more interesting and then more useful, and then it's a memorable experience all these 25 years. 25 batches I have traveled them semester after semester, and then I was very tough with them, for which I have to apologize, and I don't know how they took it, but from what is going on now, I feel that what I have done, maybe for some batches it is good, and some people are repeaters, some are repeaters. I am worse than repeaters. I teach the same thing over and over again. All these years I have been teaching the same thing, and repeaters pass, but I have not yet passed. And RV, we get the best students, and therefore it is easy for me to teach, because here we cannot teach, we make them learn. That's what it is. As the subjects are becoming advanced, it is difficult to teach. I usually escape from teaching and make them learn, and they are giving fantastic seminars with wonderful videos, and that is why I am managing the teaching in RV.
So nowadays, after engineering, most of us are pursuing good careers in industries and all. 25 years ago, why did you choose teaching as your career?
No, I was dragged into teaching. I was in an industry. I changed 3 industries, in fact, before coming to RV. Therefore, I will be boasting in my classes that I am from industry and all that. So I will be giving some interesting examples from the industry that I had in the classes, which students cherish. Because I will be sharing my experience rather than talking from books. And and why I joined teaching is that throughout I was bookish, mugging and mugging, every year mugging, and then the salary in the private sector where I joined the 3 small companies was very less. Compared to that, the RV was paying much better. They were paying 1,000 rupees less than 2,000 rupees, so that I need not pay the professional tax. So 1,999 was my first salary that I received, which was much better than 1,350 rupees. And Professor Shastri, K.S. Shastri, who was a PhD in process control and automation, as well as a law degree holder. He was a great teacher, and he was the head when I joined RV. He made me resign a private company and join RV. And that was a very interesting experience with him. I learned a lot under him, and after I saw that I was little successful in repeating my whatever I memorized, I used to repeat in the class. First half of the class I used to come out with whatever I had memorized. The remaining class I was just dictating notes. Like that I was managing the first few years. and students got some notes for their examination, I got time so that students do not make galata in the class. And that pattern actually attracted me to be in teaching. And some students lingered on me, and they made my life very comfortable in RV. The interactions with the students is what I cherish always. And many students have been helped, they have helped me, and I have come across many ingenious teachers in the instrumentation department who were there for a short time and they left. But I continue to teach, and I would like to teach henceforth also. That is my passion. Teaching is my passion. My father had told me, "Arey, you are a misfit in industry. It is better you get into teaching. You can make a mark there." Somehow that might have influenced me, and I am still sticking on to it.
That is such an honest answer.
Yeah.
And we came to know through secret sources that about your interest in homeopathic medicine.
Yeah.
So tell us more about it.
Of course, that has been my passion, and whenever I come across an old student, I will be boring them with some stories that got created with this homeopathic hobby. And my first case of tumor was one of my old students by name Srinivas Bhatt in 1991. I went to the class without notes one day. Without notes I could not have taught, and first half of the class, whatever I had mugged up, I repeated in the class. It was over. I didn't know the other ways of teaching, and I am not a good thinker. Therefore, after the half an hour, I stood blank facing the students, and students were gaping at me. What has happened to this fellow? He has stopped his tape recorder. And I didn't know what to do next. I did not have notes to dictate, nor could I dictate from my memory. Somehow I was awestruck. I was teaching biomedical instrumentation then. It was 1991, and 2 years just passed. I had experience in RV in teaching. Then it was annual scheme, and then I said, somehow I got linked to my hobby, wherein I mentioned to the students in the class that, see, we may measure blood pressure, we may measure ECG, EMG, EEG, all these parameters, but can we cure cancer? Can we cure heart disease? Can we cure incurable cases? These are all incurables according to the conventional system of medicine. There is a system of medicine which has no incurable disease. All diseases are curable. That's what that system says. That is the first axiom of homeopathy. And my father taught me this, and therefore when a blindness case was cured, a paralysis was cured, I had the confidence that any complaint or any disease can be solved. And therefore when I was teaching in the class, when I was blank, I didn't know what to do, this flashed in me, and I shared with them. There is a system of medicine wherein all these incurable diseases can be solved. I myself have solved a few cases, and the students got so much interested in what I shared. Never in the class they asked any question to me, but that day I got so many questions that it was really problematic for me managing them. They were so curious, asking, "Sir, is cancer curable? Is tumor solvable? How can you do it without operation? Without chemotherapy, how it can be done? What are the techniques that you are using?" So many questions. One person was asking more questions than others. That was Srinivas Bhatt. He was in the last bench, and with arrogance he used to shoot. "How dare you say, sir, that you being an engineering graduate, you can solve cancer and all that?" Like that he was actually threatening me. Then there was a limit up to which I could tolerate. I encouraged them to ask questions, and I was responding to the extent possible. Then I took control of the situation. "Are Srinivas Bhatt, just sit down. Don't ask any further questions. If you had asked any questions regarding the subject, then you have the permission to ask these general questions. Then I snubbed him and sir, these are real questions that I want to know whether there is solution for this. I said the solution is there for every problem. Sit down. By that time the bell rang. I was saved and then I went out of the class. It was summer. I put on the fan and I was sitting like this, relaxing. This university again enters my staff room and then sir, excuse me. What do you want? I was really upset by the way he was asking questions. And the same chap came in and sir, you said tumor can be solved. Is it true, sir? It's a simple case, man, tumor. I said. Then he said, sir, I am suffering from tumor and I am not able to sit on hard bench. That is why I am irregular to the class. And doctors say a spinal nerve has grown into the tumor and it is risky, operation is risky. I am from a rural background, I have no money, sir, for getting operated. I am in a poor boys hostel. Then I woke up. I asked him to sit, asked some details about his medical problem, took him to college canteen, got him masala dosa because that was my first case of a tumor. And then after 2 months of interrogation and interviewing, I came to know one day and I asked him when I went to literature and came back to him some questions. And he used to respond. Again go back to literature, like this some 2 months it went on and totally I understood what it is. I also didn't know what tumor was, etc. It was my first case. And I asked him one day, is your tumor to feel or in the photographs or the scanning, is it like a bunch of grapes? Yes sir, exactly, it is like a bunch of grapes. Then your problem is solved. So aloes in homeopathy, aloes is a medicine which solves tumors which are in the shape of grapes, conical shape. And with that in 2 months he got solved. I used to take food to his Madhva Yoga Sangha hostel opposite BIT. He was a poor boy there. And his tumor increased in fact after I gave the medicine. And my colleagues used to cajole me. Sir, on and off Srinivas Bhatt was coming to college now and then. After you gave the medicine he has stopped coming. What is the matter? And without your medicine at least on and off he was coming. After you gave the medicine he is totally off from college. It is because of you he is losing 1 year. Like that they were telling. No, I said I am treating and he is under treatment, etc. They never believed that I can treat or etc. Then I used to take food to his hostel because he was not able to get up and go to the lunch time or in the dinner time. He was not able to go. His friends were also not helping him. I was taking food to him and treating, and then in 2 months the tumor, which was like a huge bunch of grapes, had become size of pea. And then he said, I told him, I will take care of your health, you take care of your studies. He had decided not to take the exam that year, he wanted to drop. But I said, you have to sit and study, you have to take. He got distinction, now he is a project lead in Oracle.
Wow.
Recently, another incident I want to share. Probably I have shared with some of you. Let me repeat it. It is quite interesting to hear, rather than the authenticity don't question. But a madam came into my room when I was studying for the class in my staff room. She came and told, sir, I am from MCA department. I didn't know that madam, that lady. She was wearing sari and elderly lady, and she came and sir, HOD has sent me to you, and you have to recommend the HOD to sanction my leave. And I said, I am no way concerned with your leave business in your department. Whether your HOD sanctions or not, I am least bothered. Why should you come to me? No, HOD asked that you should recommend for her to sanction my leave. Then I took up the phone, 807 for MCA department, HOD. I called, and she was on the line. She said, what do you want? Madam has come and she wants leave to be sanctioned. Please sanction it. She said, sir, that madam has applied for 6 months leave. I cannot give 6 months. I cannot appoint just for 6 months another person. Then how can I recommend madam? No. Please look into her case. She is medically upset and therefore look into her case. Okay madam, I will try. And I said, you are having some health problems. Then she said, yes sir, I may be having health problems. It is all personal issue. Why should I share with anybody? Please either recommend or not recommend sir. I am leaving. Then I said, no, madam says that I should listen to your problems and then try to help her. No sir, even doctors have not been able to help since 3.5 years. What you can do? What is the problem madam? It is none of your business to ask personal questions sir. Just like that she, on face she was telling. Then I said, see, I am having the practice of homeopathy since 30 years. It's a hobby with me. When doctors give up, I take up such cases, incurable diseases. I have been able to solve that. And there are very few failures, but more than 160 incurable diseases have been solved. Therefore, with that intention, she might have sent. If you are interested, you can share, or else the choice is yours, I said. And she sat in front of me. Sir, do you practice homeopathy? Yes. And I said, I have no degree or license, but I am a hobbyist. When doctors give up, even I first send to homeopathic doctors and allopathic doctors. If it is not solved, then only I take up that such case and I am able to help people. So then she said that, sir, three and a half weeks back, when I was teaching in the class, I fell down from the, I tripped and fell down, and my shoulders went and hit a bench, and that is really paining. I am not able to lift my hand and write. And that's all madam, in 2 days it can be solved. Then she said, what else do you have? Sir, I was coming down the steps. I skid down the steps and then fell. My right bum is paining. I am not able to turn that side when sleeping. And what else madam? That's also a silly problem. Then she said, my husband and myself were going in a two-wheeler. We met with an accident. The vehicle fell on my ankle. That is also right side sir. So that is also paining. What else? 3.5 years back, I fell down in the classroom again while I was wearing sari. I tripped and fell down. My knee joint is affected. So all these right side problems, sir, I am not able to get up in the morning, not able to get proper sleep. After getting up, not able to get ready, and coming to college is an ordeal. Working is a trouble for me, and going back and I will be scolding my children in the evening because it is so much painful and strenuous. I said, this problem is silly madam, it can be solved within 2 days. Please take back your leave letter. She said, sir, first solve it, afterwards let us think. So I had the emergency medicine with me. I always carry in my bag to help somebody. I treat people free of cost, therefore I'll be carrying it, and then I gave her the bottle. And she took the bottle and said, how to take sir? I told her, but I knew that she will not take. Therefore I called her back, opened the lid, put her a few pills on her palm and then asked her to take. Reluctantly she took. After half an hour you will be telling me that your pain will not be there, I said. And then she went back. And I called up HOD and said that I have started the treatment madam, please give 2 days time, decision will be given. Then 2 days over, 5 days over, the madam did not call. I thought she is not helped, therefore she has not called, she may be upset. Probably her leave is sanctioned. All these things, mental work, my own mental work up. Then I could not tolerate. I called her up. I had the mobile number, I had taken the case sheet, and she did not respond to the mobile. Then I called her HOD. Sir, madam, what is the status of that madam who is affected, whom I started treating? Sir, yesterday she took her leave letter back. She doesn't want any leave. She is alright. She is solved. Madam, she did not inform me, therefore I am calling. If she is helped, well and good. Don't worry sir, I will blast her, I will send her to you. Ungrateful fellows, they don't know how to thank also. She did not come, even after that. One day I was going